So, what do you guys want to talk about?
You can call this the New World Order of Wrestling, brother. Put out the caution tape. Put out the orange cones. Acknowledge me.
WrestleMania 42 is in the books, and we're going to be talking about that and so much more here on A Plus Wrestling on YouTube at Hutch Henry's and also on KPHR Hamilton. We're hosts. I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by Hutch.
I had ribs for dinner tonight. I made some homemade cookies, and I enjoyed some Oba Femi. The longest Oba Femi walk of all time. And he even started to think like, I'm starting to look stupid.
I know, right? You can tell, like, you know what though? Crowd was great, all things considered. You know what? Tonight, aesthetically, looked nicer. Maybe it was a gloomy day out in Las Vegas, but it just seemed nicer. Like the lights were popping. I kind of like the blue, which is matching my background for those watching on the tubes of you. But yeah, no, overall, tonight, much better than night one. We're going to get that right out of the way. We're going to be talking WrestleMania and so much more here on KPHR Hamilton and on YouTube at Hutch Henry's. Hutch, let's just get straight into it. It happened.
It happened.
It's one of those nights where almost, I know that, look, maybe last night we were a little too negative. Maybe we were a little bit in the sauce. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't that great of a show. But today, it's almost like they were planning for the future. The first half featured a lot of young stars. The second half featured a lot of established people getting the wins. And overall, I think that, there was no match that surprised me result-wise, except for the first one, maybe, because I just didn't know. We were talking about Thursday. I just didn't know where we were going to go with it.
Didn't know.
Right?
Obviously, Brock knew. All right, so first off, as far as that, since we just said that, I think Brock was like this. Originally, this was probably Gunther going to retire Brock at Mania, the same way that AJ was like, "Hey, Rumble's my final," and he's like, he put his foot down. He's like, "Rumble's it for me." I'm sure Brock ages ago was like, "All right, we're gonna do Mania. Mania's my last one." They probably had Gunther planned, and of course, with all the craziness and the injuries and the everything, and it ended, and they went with the fans. They're like, "We're gonna do Oba," and he's like, "All right, well, it's still my last one, so boom, let Oba be the guy." And I'm sure it was a tough pill for them to swallow because they wanted to keep piling on the accolades for Gunther, but this was awesome. And yeah, man, put Oba over. Whew, strong.
Yes,
Body strong.
That's exactly what happened. The other thing, my biggest question here was, I was shocked that he picked WrestleMania, considering that SummerSlam is in his backyard of Minnesota.
Yeah, some people, in fact, even Justin saying here, the lawsuit, like maybe it's what's going on with Janelle, but
yep, maybe.
I don't know. And the longer time goes on, I think, she's swimming with the sharks here. And there's probably a lot of, I'm sure that the lawyers are saying, hey, there was a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like she was compliant with a lot of it, for a long time. And so I'm sure.
Exactly. It's TKO.
Going on.
Lost lawyers, like I don't even want to get into that, but I know exactly.
I'm sure like 80% of the people in TKO are conservative and probably have escorts and mistresses. Like they don't give a shit. They're just like, Vince, man, you're getting old. First of all, you got caught, you got sloppy, you're crashing your car. Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Did I swear?
We don't condone that language here on KPHR Hamilton.
I'm sorry, my man. What do you do? Do you buzz? Do you drop it out?
I just leave it.
Put in a beep?
I just leave it.
Leave it? Okay.
I just leave them sometimes. Sometimes. Depends.
That's why
Depends
we're
how I
top
feel.
5. They swear sometimes.
Yeah.
Joe's
right.
night one.
I almost took a nap during night one. Night two was a lot better. You know what the problem with wrestling is, and this is what I always say, right? You know how, and it's not just wrestling, it's any TV show. How long I'm on my phone. How much time am I spending on my phone while I'm watching what I'm supposed to be watching? Now, the issue yesterday was I was watching this with some friends. So I wasn't on my phone. I was talking to people, and as I'm talking to people, I'm sipping some stuff, right? And right, so probably a nap would have done me better last night. But after the show, I was so like buzz and had so much energy. And as you know, I had some stuff to do.
More talking, more drinking, less watching. Whereas tonight there was more watching and less drinking.
A ton more watching. Watching.
It was worth it. You know, is it just me? Was there less commercials?
No. But no, I don't think so. But the matches were longer, so the space between the commercials was longer, as opposed to 10 minutes in, next set of 20 minutes. There was more
shilling last night, you know, and so it's like I just felt maybe because you got to maybe corporately they have contracts for how many times they're going to advertise certain things, you know, and you of course know this, radio people know this, TV. So maybe they like squished a little more in night one. And of course we did get 6 matches because they had to make time slot wise, match wise for Danhausen, which was like a good match worth of time, at least, you know, a night one match worth of time, a 7-minute chunk, you know, and it was great. Everybody loved it. John Cena in full guy smiley mode for the whole night. Just like, and like saying stuff at the end, like with his lame, like amount of like 105, 106, 072. Yep. Hey, like dude, it's crazy. He's looking very plastic, like Jimmy Carr, only Jimmy Carr just is like that, you know? John Cena is like, I don't know what to say. Exactly. He's looking weird.
Look at how positive we are. Look how happy we are talking about this. Like last night, I don't know if you were on or I was just talking to Scott at the time, but I'm like, I have zero interest on talking about this show. Right now, I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah, last night. Now, I'll happily talk about the show when we get to the main event to juxtapose the two against each other. But even the pacing, you know, starting with the Oba, then straight into the ladder match, which like I guess we don't want to rush here. We'll give Oba and Brock some time, but I got things to say about the ladder match. But the longest Oba walk of all time, and I got to admit, it does look a little goofy when a guy like Brock Lesnar is giving the old, you know, like 1-2 tumble. You know, it's almost like they're doing a routine, like he's going to spin and they're going to catch him. And it's like, hey, cheerleaders. Like he really has to like double jump and push up on his shoulders to get into the Ronda position for him to do the fall. So that's the only thing that looked weird. It looked weird the first time he took it on TV and it looked weird now. But everything else.
And this is it right there, right? We also have to remember the first hour was on ESPN, the main ESPN channel. So yes, they have to account for those commercials between the two matches and leave some time at the end for all their ads and all that fun stuff. So it's very weird because
a good quality ESPN hour.
I think it was they got a great hour. They got a freaking. If this is what you're going to show the general public, this is how you sell your sport. Question for you, and I saw this in the thread, but with ESPN 2 last night, ESPN regular 2 night, didn't it feel like the first hour was kind of like a kickoff show, and then when they went into the actual ESPN app, it felt like a pay-per-view?
Like I was the fact that it's so truncated to exactly an hour. It just shows you how much. It just shows you how much TKO and even more so WWE was always the squeaky clean, like run sheet version of wrestling, and it became prominent. But it's like even worse now. It's like so bad. Everything is so not genuine. Like the most genuine thing on the show was like bearded football guy and Gronk like having an actual chug off. That was like literally the only impromptu, off the cuff, real life thing that happened. Everything else was so manufactured. But compared to last night, like I'm just beaming. Like it was great.
George Kettle. Yep.
And Oba not in green.
Yeah. Exactly.
The blood of Brock Lesnar. He's like,
All right, before we jump into night 2, anything you want to reflect? After sober second thoughts on night 1?
Well, you know what? This is definitely the pacing wise way better tonight. This is how you do a main event. In comparison, like everything in this main event made sense. You know, Punk's hubris really being what cost him in the end, just a little too much smiling, a little too much hubris. You know, he really looked the best he ever looked, performed the best he's performed, had the best, the best stamina, the best wind that he had since his return, period, tonight. And I'm not going to say it's his best match because obviously other people are going to have opinions. But as far as performances, I think this really was his best performance when you check all the boxes. And on top of it, it was all the hubris stuff. And then boom, Roman beat him, and now Roman gets to be like,
exactly. Give the guy the AFI song, and he look how happy he looked.
But your question to juxtapose it against night one, like what was all of that? Like the beginning, like who's face, who's heel, like even at the end. Like McAfee coming down and Cody with the like Lobo from behind and bam, and then I'm the winner, I'm the baby face, and everybody's still cheering Randy. So then Randy grabs the title and Randy kind of hits him, and like is Randy trying to get booed? It's like who's what? Are they gonna do a turn? Are we gonna have our ultimate like righteous faction of assholes with Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn? Like, please, is it gonna happen? And then Kevin Owens can come back and be like, where's my Kevin was right shirt? Get that shit clean. Kevin was right. Like it'll be great. So yeah, night one was confusing.
See Cody's eye after it all?
No.
Dude, it looked nasty.
At the very end, he did look like nasty. But you're saying after the fact, it's like bruised up to
death? After the fact, like when the doctors were checking on him, he got staples. He has an orbital injury. Hopefully he's not out too long.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, if he's out for a while, then there you go. Randy did it. They could say it was the punt. Is it that eye?
It was the punt. The punt.
Really? Because it did hit flush.
Yeah, it was the punt that caused it.
Wow. Okay. But I also figure
Well, also the cool thing about Randy is I don't know if cameras caught this because again, I don't remember. Like I was setting up for the show, so I didn't watch everything in great detail. But I love this one. Cody equals Sloth from the Goonies. Very good, Joe. I like that. No, Randy went to go check on him right after he did the punt. He did check on him. He bent down on one knee, and you could tell he was like very concerned for what he did.
Yeah, like, and it looked like he was just vipering him, like Stone Colding him, like
in his exactly face, the way, it kind of worked. It kind of worked,
and he did hit flush. And it's great they can use it in the replay because that his bam, his face going. But like in my mind, I was just like, you can kind of roll with it. I figured Randy was a pro. Like when I saw it hit so like nice and flush, it didn't really because. I don't know, when I saw it hit and I remember being like, oh, it didn't look like Cody like snapped back. It just kind of like hit his face and they both like kind of compressed as if it looked like he was kind of hitting a pillow and then went on. And I was just like, wow, that looked great. So I actually didn't think that he really got hurt because he didn't writhe and there was no like snap back. But hey, whatever. It's great for them. They have something to use now. Cody's screwed up. Randy can defend for a bit. Cody can come back, right?
Yep. All right. Here we go. Let's look at WrestleTix for tonight. The venue was set up for 51,920 with 51,266 tickets distributed. The total number of seats was listed at 68,703 1 year ago with 61,389 distributed. So about 10K less people again, night overnight.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, the part where they explained what was happening with the crowds and Danhausen came up was one of the best parts. Midgethausen, like all the midgets were awesome. I'm glad I'm jumping ahead just so that when we get there again, I could talk about it a second time. And this little like Danhausen car, and God, they adore him. You can tell
they do
adore him.
Oh, 100%.
And like shh, and then he like ran out of the ring.
Dude,
like,
I love that bit. I love that bit.
Top this time. Yeah.
And it doesn't get old.
Dogpile. Okay, so on Danhausen on the Indies, his move was basically like a haluva kick, like basically Yakuza kick style thing to the side of the face. What Jody Threat does every time. She bends you over and then goes, rah, but he would put the teeth in the mouth. So then that would be the gig, right? Bam. He did it the other day on his only single match as his finisher, and it looked a little lame. So at least in the video game, you need to be able to hit dogpile, and a bunch of midgets need to come out from under the ring and come in and like dogpile on your opponent and attack them and then like rush under the ring and go under, right? That would be one of your specials, finishers, saved up signatures, whatever it is.
Yep. All right. Deji says, rumor has it Orton Rhodes feud is going to continue as they're going to actually do the story they wanted now that McAfee is gone. That's kind of what I've heard as well, with Aleister Black kind of being the Orton. You got to go back to your roots.
So nobody that's going to give McAfee work in the movie world is going to watch wrestling. So they've already got enough McAfee footage. They've got him at Mania. They got the run-in with the ref. They've got him talking. They've got him they got enough. As somebody that edits, they got enough stuff to splice in his commentary stuff, his first time at Mania, his Gunther match, his second time at Mania. They got so much.
They even have him in a War Games match footage. In NXT.
Bro, there you go, man. They have a whole wrestling package for him, for look at the physicality he can do, and look at the in-ring, and look at the live, under pressure live stuff. They got everything they need. Emmanuel can like F off now. Go housing yourself. All right. You got what you need. Go away.
There we go. Let us jump to match number 1, 6-match card. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Oba Femi. We knew these entrances were going to be long. As we were talking about on Thursday during the preview show, we really had no idea where they were going with this. Did WWE know? I wonder how much WWE and who knew in WWE about Brock Lesnar's decision. But Oba Femi defeats Brock Lesnar in 4 minutes and 45 seconds-ish.
Wow, really? I'm not sure if it felt that short to me, but some people said it was short.
It didn't,
but,
but I was timing. Like, I had my phone, and I was actually timing these matches.
All right, well, it showed you that everything mattered in this match, and it kind of even went the way that I thought it was going to go.
Yes.
One of my 2 scenarios, but it was a little shorter. But yes, it was like come out of the gate, bam, 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 and Lesnar can't do anything, and then some like classic heel stuff, and then he really got over on him for a while there, and I thought that was going to happen for longer, and everybody's going to be like really shocked. A little more like the original John Cena match. Instead of 16, he only got what, like 2 or 3? But I do like the shaking it off, standing up. It would have been almost nicer if Brock had turned around and he was already standing up.
Yeah, I thought Oba went a little slow. He went a little slow.
He was told to, like refs are yelling stuff. He's like trying to get up and doesn't realize like that the seasoned vets always milk everything. Milking is safety, It looks bad on TV. It looks bad for fans, but you're never going to look stupid if you wait longer. It's your opponent who looks stupid, and at least it gives them time. Extra time is better than not enough time. You don't want to turn around when they're not ready, especially as a ref.
Yeah.
A ref wants to not see things. So Oba was probably getting ready to get up, and it was just Brock was milking way longer than he thought, and Brock didn't milk that much longer than your average. Some people do it too long. Brock was just more than your average human being would. That's what wrestling is. It's like when a normal person would turn around, it's not when a wrestler turns around. He has to count to at least 25, 30 more seconds. But so I think Oba was screwed up about that. But it would have been nice if he went with it and was standing there like, oh, boom. And because then that would have almost given Brock more of a reason to run at him. And then that hop, skip, and a jump into it would have been better. Because he kind of did it from his standing, like a stagnant position, which is why I started thinking tumbling, which immediately makes me think midgets, which makes me think Danhausen. So yes, let's smile some more.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I like this match. Everything, like you said, and I had something similar in my notes where everything mattered. Everything mattered in this match. Everything in this match made sense. And I feel like everything in this match was made and put together to put Oba over. And that's exactly what we got right after the match. I don't know why I had this weird feeling that was going to happen. Like at the very end, I'm like, what if Brock retires now?
Oba Femi.
Oh, there we go. Say it again so we can splice it.
Oba Femi. Well, didn't I just say the same? Yeah, we're good.
No, but you got to get I was talking over you when you started.
All right. Well, next is Una Lada Espectacular.
Yep. So Oba takes off the gloves and the boots and leaves them in the ring.
Yeah, no,
pretty
not
emotional.
Brock. Yeah, Brock.
Yeah. Brock. Yes, Brock.
He looked emotional. He took a little too long to get their boots off. I'm like, wonder if he was even.
I felt like
sure
he was
gonna
like,
do it. He's all like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, most likely. His legs were looking. Thin. The rest of him still looking amazing, but he's starting to get like old man leg.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the.
Are you guys the same age?
Yeah. I'm starting to get old man leg. It sucks. The friggin' you see Mr. Wrestling 2 got it, and like Vern Gagne and the guys who were in there too long, and like Ric Flair, you start to get old man. Like the rest of them looks pretty okay. They start to look like weathered and like thick, but then their legs get this like weird. The tendons start to stick out behind the knees, and it's like this like old man leg thing.
Yep. Intercontinental title ladder match. Penta.
That's what you're
versus
splicing.
Rey Mysterio.
Old man leg thing. Sorry, go.
Penta versus Rey. Penta versus Rey Mysterio versus Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans versus Rusev versus JD McDonough in a 6-way ladder match for the IC title. Some of the entrances happened during the commercial break, I guess, to give Javon Evans and Rey Mysterio their and Penta their time, their look. I don't know. It was weird. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was like very wrestling challenge, huh? It's like, God darn it. You know, JD McDonough doesn't get his entrance. Although, like, Rusev would have had a good response and a good entrance. You know, everybody would cheer Rusev Day. Would anybody have known McDonough's music? Like, if McDonough getting
or Dragon Lee?
Dragon Lee still, he probably would have got a good response, at least maybe once they realized it was him. But yeah, whatever. It was pretty much evident right away. These 3 guys aren't winning. You know?
Yep. Joe with saying the ladder match wasn't as crazy I was hoping, but great overall. Then this is the thing with ladder matches, right? I think we're at a point where what more can you do with ladder matches without literally killing yourself?
Well, see, AEW goes way over the top with everything.
Yes.
And previously in the later Vince era, when they started going hard with it after the initial ones, you had like the ladder climb and like too much long-winded setting up of spots. I thought while watching this match, I didn't get any of like the feelings I get during ladder matches. And it was about just over halfway through. I thought, like, my God, could this be the best ladder match of like the last 10 years or more in WWE for sure? Like AEW marks are going to be like, I can't say what's better or not better with AEW because they just go so balls to the walls all the time. But so like, it's just like a smoke screen. It's like the teacher from Peanuts. She's like, wah, 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 wah. It's just like, right? Yeah. Dude, in this match, nobody did ladder walk. All of them ran up the ladder like they wanted to get there. They all had their timing down as they got to the ladder, and then like the realization, and bam. There was only once or twice where people were like, should I go up the ladder? You know, like, and milking the crowd. But once they were on the ladder, there was no like jilted walking. Everybody went for it. Timing on everything in this match was great. No spots were too much. Everything worked out perfectly. Rusev was the only guy who did ladder walk, and he did it on on purpose, pretending like he had his leg hurt so that he could wait for Dragon Lee.
He did have his leg hurt.
Well,
his ankle at some point, like you can tell he was injured at some point in this match.
But he like overdid he like for the ladder specifically.
Yeah, yes,
walking in other
yes,
places,
correct.
And perhaps maybe the pressure for walk, but it worked out perfectly. Dragon Lee did a stumble on the ladder and went down a rung like and like sweaty stuff. Like everything worked out perfect. There was no points where I was like, or like things bothered me with timing or with it's. Go back and watch it again. And everything is smooth like butter. Nothing is too much. It's just enough of everything to bring the ladder match back. We're all so desensitized. Once again, just like Obafemi, everything in this match mattered and led to the next thing. Like a good writer, it wasn't just the next thing. It was like, and therefore, because this, and therefore, and then they, because they. It was very well done. I enjoyed it a lot.
And I feel like they put extra. I'm very interested to see who produced this match because whoever did it did a great job. Number one. Number two, it was one of those things where you can tell that they planned. Like, I don't want to say they overplanned it, but they thought of this match structure so well because this is going to be on ESPN. This is what you're showcasing to non-wrestling fans.
Another ESPN like knocked out of the park for night 2 for ESPN for its first hour. Like, no wonder they were shilling night 1 tickets. Like somehow they knew, and there was a little more attendance tonight too, right? So like just like not that drastic, no drastic difference, but which is kind of weird how they combine nights. Like, hey, 100,000 people. It's like, yeah, sure. You know, it's not 7 years. Every cell in your body hasn't changed over. It's the people from yesterday, bud. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I thought Ray might win this match. You remember my thing. I was like, if it's not Ray, it's Penta. Yep. When they came out and they mentioned really, they never said he's never lost at WrestleMania, but I don't think he's ever lost at WrestleMania. And it makes sense. Ray's like the superhero. He's the feel-good guy, right? You got to think like Vince McMahon. He's like, oh, no, Ray's going to win at WrestleMania. The little guy, superhero, right? So, yeah, like all of his undercard matches, and like I believe, you know, maybe somebody can tell me if I'm wrong because I didn't actually research it, but they just were like, he's like 6th WrestleMania, the way Michael Cole worded it. And then I realized, like, I don't think he's ever really lost at Mania. So I thought he might win. Yeah. And he wasn't wearing like I thought he was wearing padding at first because of the broken ribs, but everything. He was probably wrapped up really tight because like his shirt looked really tight and it looked like it was all rippled. And at first I thought it was padding, but he was probably just really taped up and then had his shirt over.
He probably has, he's taped up for sure.
Yeah, and he didn't do. There was
First
no
match back,
impact. There was no mid-body impact stuff for him, if I can recall. Like he didn't do. It was all senton sitting down stuff. There was no West Coast pop into a splash kind of stuff anywhere for him. It was all landing on the landing on the back.
The West Coast thing, like Rusev.
Yeah, but that was landing on the butt and taking it in the face.
Yeah, the one JD McDonough. Anytime he does a flip or does anything, he just knows how to sell off of ladders.
See, he's good at the rotation because it's like he's top heavy, right? So it's just he's like when if you like throw a hammer, right? He's like, it's good. And that was really good. I was worried about it because Penta was above him, and I'm like, how are they gonna get the rotation? And like Penta like popped into it because he's done it so many times. Like, who's a pro at like, they destroy you on the ladder? He's like, this is like my dozens. I've done this a dozen times. I'm good. And then McDonough's a pro too. Like, bam, they just hit it hard. That was great.
Yeah, Javon Evans, great showing as always, but I think the MVP of this match was honestly JD McDonough.
Yeah, really. And I can't believe they did 3 spots on that ladder. That was a crowd that was, it never broke to the point that Rusev had to like move the leg. He's like, God damn, it's still in there, And when he put it in, I wasn't sure if he was going to get it in time because Javon Evans came towards him and he quickly like said something to him, and Javon like took an extra second for Rusev to pull the ladder and get it in tight because it wasn't quite in yet. And then it just never went anywhere after that. So,
and kudos to Michael Cole for giving flowers to JD McDonough, right? Like, it was really cool. It was, commentary did great.
Yeah. Commentary was great today. It was just the two of them all night, right? Cole and Barrett. Yeah. And they slam dunked it. Yeah, and I didn't think about that, but yeah, he's called McDonough a future champion, and he put him over. And what a great spot for him too. He seemed like the odd man out. You're like, oh, McDonough, they're giving, but like he deserves it, right? The same way I was putting over Vicari yesterday, where I'm like, they know what they had with her. They kind of think they know what they have with him, and trained by Finn Balor, before coming through a person who they also trust. So good stuff.
And that ladder match definitely had some I am the ladder moments.
I am the ladder. You're right. Yeah. So tough 2x4s, I guess, or whatever they do with those things.
Right. JD equals MVP of any multi-man match. Yeah, he's so good. And I'm happy that he gets to showcase how good he is at WrestleMania. Overall, great win by Penta. Good stuff. Kind of made sense to me.
What's the future JD McDonough character? Like, what's JD McDonough when he's where Punk is now, right? Like, wrestlers, WWE really always lets everybody get seasoned, right? I'm sure Punk feels even now, like, think how incredulous and righteous he was about his spot and what he deserved. And now it's like completely natural that he's there, right?
Yeah.
When JD McDonough is in his old man Punk stage, like, what is he going to be? Is he going to be like Peaky Blinders? Like, is he going to lean into like the hammerhead aspect? You know what I'm talking about? Like, give him like a suit with like really cut shoulders or something and his big head. And like, I'm obsessed with hair. Remember last night with the Cody Rhodes hair? He needs to have like hair, big hair like Cody as well. A Papadorio. I don't know. But like, once we all love him and he loves himself and it's all that, like, I wonder what that JD McDonough is going to be.
Right.
10 years from now, JD McDonough.
You know that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. They clearly like him a lot. Triple H likes him. They use him very well in NXT UK, and now in the main roster. He's a guy, that they just trust, right? Kind of like Finn Balor and all those people, right? It's like they trust certain people.
Well, you know what happens now after Penta. Great match for Penta too. Put it all on the line. He like raised his hand to do his Zero Murder, almost knocked his helmet off. He was like really quick to be like, I'm not gonna knock my helmet off. I'm gonna look really cool the whole way down. But like he did like it look really like another marketing guy where they're like, look how this guy walks. He's gonna be great for mocap. He's gonna be great for everything. Like they love his walk. It's amazing the things like just like the freaking bounce back ricochet clothesline that they gave Moxley for years. The McGinnis clothesline. I always forget what he calls it. McGinnis has such a cool name for it, and I just never remember. It's like, like Moxley was gonna never do that again. Penta is gonna come to the day where he's all like, man, do I gotta do the thing? Like him and Oba Febby are gonna be like, yes, I'm starting to feel stupid. And Penta's going to be like, yeah, amigo. Yeah, amigo. Me too, man. But whatever. It's a nice paycheck, man. Yes, you're right, my friend.
Good accents.
Thank you.
There we go. U.S. Championship was next.
Oh, no.
Sammy's.
Boris.
Yep. Well, what do we have to do now?
This is the end of the ESP. You got to get over right now to one of our providers and sign up right now for WrestleMania. This is the end of your ESPN hour. This is the real show. The other stuff was just
on
crap.
KPHR Hamilton. And the next match was the first match on ESPN app or Netflix International. Your third match, Sami Zayn, your U.S. champion versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams with the longest jacket in history.
Yeah, man, except it was actually like a belt, right? I think it was like a belt.
Yeah. It was a belt.
Yeah.
That kept getting caught. That's why he kept stopping and looking back.
I thought he kept stopping because he was just like looking at his he's like, I'm looking at admiring it. I was hoping that it wasn't getting caught and it was just like heavy or whatever. So obviously not a great idea. They must have practiced it, right?
Sure they did.
Well.
Yeah, Triple H.
Yeah, I know Triple H. He probably practiced it. That's what I would think. Who knows? Maybe he was out partying with Lash.
Probably. And Sami Zayn with all the booze. You know what? It's funny. You can tell that Sami Zayn kind of enjoys.
He's leaning into it. Yeah.
He's leaning into it.
They're all leaning into it. They know exactly what's happening, and they're not fighting it. So that's good. Sami Zayn leaned into it, and I wasn't sure if Trick was going to win. I thought they were going to deny him, and then Sami could be even more righteous. But you've got Yachty there. It's WrestleMania. You got to give it to him. But
riddle me this: how long do you think this match was?
Jeez, well, because you're asking me that, I'm assuming that it wasn't that long. Was it like 10 minutes?
Less.
No way, really?
Yep.
I would have thought it would have been
7 minutes.
10 minutes.
7 minutes, 10 seconds.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, it was pretty tight. It was a good match. It was all that it really needed to be. Sami really outclassed him, outworked him. He only got him in the end because of Yachty and then like a couple of like, quick moves. And his moves are kind of like instant moves. So he was able to hit his finishes. If I'm out of nowhere. Oh, quick, shucky, ducky, quack, quack, baby. That's my boy. Wickety wham. With the knee in the face, the trick knee. So, yeah. And so, like, it worked out well. It's exactly what we all thought this match was going to be. Except I thought.
And I'm glad that WWE's kind of like, dare I say, and I don't want to misspeak, but like, sticking to plans and not changing things for the sake of it because the fans caught on to stuff or they're, rewriting stuff because of the fans. You know what I mean? Because if this were the previous era of Vince, Sami Zayn would have won this match.
You think so? Yeah, maybe. Is Sami ever going to make it now? Now he seems like the perennial, like all his big moments are like US and IC stuff. He's been relegated to the Chris Jericho and Kevin Steen like list storyline where they got downgraded to the US title. Who knows? Like it's weird. He's missed his window. I don't care if Sami wins now. The world title. It's like, okay. But a year ago, I could see that he was Sammy Hogan. And it was like, they had the story with him and his kid and they showing his wife all the time. And he just seemed like at the peak of his like righteous baby faceness where it didn't seem preachy yet. And we were all just like, yeah, Sammy, and like all the Saudi stuff. And now it's starting to seem preachy. And like even popular culture is moving a little bit more away from wokeness. And it's like the next generation's coming in. Everybody's starting to wear bell bottoms again. Everything comes back around. So soon everybody's going to be like, man, this Sammy guy, they're already starting to call him Gingerbread Man, getting away with it. They're going to start making fun of the way he looks. Whereas before, like Sami Zayn being like not the typical wrestler look in all these ways was like, that's not something you talked about. We don't talk about people's bodies. I'm telling you, man, things are coming back around.
Yeah.
So Sami might be in trouble.
No, you're fine for now.
No, Sami.
We'll talk.
Might be in trouble.
Oh, Sami. I thought you said me. Like I.
No, like me. Why? Just because I'm talking about this subject matter, I'm not in any way bigoted. I'm just talking factually.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm not sure. What did you mean?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Hey.
Jesus Christo.
Don't blaspheme.
Jesus Christ.
I actually have a Jesus Christ Hutch that I was going to splice into our intro of you, like Jesus Christ Hutch, and then another thing.
You should have.
Yeah, I have a lot of clips. I didn't get around to it. There's only so many hours in the day.
Exactly. There we go. Trick Williams, your new U.S. champion. What is next for Sami Zayn?
I don't know. Like cheating to get the title back? You know, like how's he going to heat?
Right? F with both Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams? Because at this point, are they? You think they're going to? What is Trick Williams? Is he a face or a heel?
I don't know. Well, I guess we're going to find out on U.S. title on
Friday.
We're going to find out on Friday. I guess Rhea's going to be on Fridays from now on. Look at that. Watch out, ladies.
Yep. Next match is a street fight, a sanctioned street fight. Unlike yesterday's unsanctioned street fight. Dominic Mysterio versus Demon Finn Balor. Both guys had great entrances.
Yeah, man. Like the Demon was missed. Like it didn't seem, it was nice to see it as opposed to being like, yeah. So this was cool. I dug it. It was a good match overall. It was exactly the ending that we all needed and wanted. Dom can take this. And he was like extra obnoxious.
He's never hurt. Dom is one of those guys who can bounce back from a loss the next night. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he loses to Cena. It bounces it's like he's that good. He connects with the crowd so much so that people don't care whether he wins or loses.
Everything about his character is bullshit and bravado, baby. That's the name of my memoirs, right? The Hutch Henry story, bullshit and bravado. Well, I guess the S word's in there. Well, okay, but that's all he is, right? And you gotta love it.
Yeah.
Like from condom and like I'm so hard and I was in jail to like everything, him being like this skinny ratty kid and like being so arrogant, king of the luchadors, screw my father, all this stuff on both belts. Like all of it. And when he wins, you're surprised. And he's surprised too. He's always like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God. So it's like of course he's going to lose. So it's like, it's fine. Right. But unfortunately, because of that, it doesn't do anything for the Demon really.
Like, he needed the win regardless. Look, he needed to win. If Finn Balor lost, it would have been that much worse for him. So this is perfect for him. Demon wins. Finn Balor wins. The peasants rejoice.
Yep. You know, like the Billy Kidman beating Hogan, the Dominic beating Cena. These are victories you remember forever. So the Demon didn't want to get Mysterio. Like he had to win tonight. That would have affected him long term. But yeah, Mysterio's not going to. Mysterio losing is like part of his legacy. Like he has to lose.
Exactly. Once Dom turns babyface, he's going to be rock level loved. I think he is already almost.
Well, it just depends where he is. He's got to go to like Canada. Right? And he's like king of the world, king of the luchadors.
Yep. Absolutely. Anything else you want to say about this match?
Night 2's delivering. What an intense match here from the Demon and Rey Mysterio here on KPHR. We're going to be back really soon. I'm Casey Kasem and I'm here with Oba Femi. How'd you like it, Oma? It's good so far. Yeah, there you go.
WWE Women's Championship match. As we're talking here in KPHR Hamilton, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. How long do you think this match was? Because this match was a lot shorter than I thought.
Really? Like I thought this was over 10 minutes. I mean, maybe I'm thinking entrances as well. Okay, so
bell to bell, bell to bell, match itself, 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Okay, I felt about that. You know what? I hate to say this. Oh my Lord.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let me get comfortable. Go ahead. Just say it. Say it.
This was Jade Cargill's best performance ever. She did not make me angry too much, other than on her way to the ring. Her banter on the way to the ring was too didn't seem right. It's not like LA Knight banter, where he's just like saying weird shit to like ghosts that hang out around him. She was like, but anyways. This was great. She did well. I didn't hate this match. It wasn't like a great match, but it wasn't a bad match. So like, awesome. I don't know what to say. I thought it was going to be bad.
I know you did. I knew that it was going to be fine. They didn't give Jade Cargill anything insane to do.
Like it was technically the washroom break match, right before the main event, but it didn't feel like they did that to them. It felt like they gave them the match before the main event. Like it felt a little different because there's so few matches. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but it was good. And Io Sky, man, poor Io Sky, like timing wise, her music hits and like Michin and VFab are like,
I love
like,
when I love when they hit music for a run-in, but hitting music for a run-in on the WrestleMania ramp is the funniest thing ever.
It is like from that Monty Python sketch.
Yeah.
Where they've just got like the drum roll and like John Cleese is running in the night costume. And he's like so far away and they keep splicing back to him and he's still far away. But then all of a sudden the camera cuts and Evil's right there like, oh, with his sword killing everybody. But it takes so long. That was what I felt like. Suddenly she was there.
Yep. Deji says Cargill did a good job. She shook off her Goldbergness and had a decent match. Joe says Jade has learned to hide her negatives and accentuate her positives.
She got Paul Heyman.
I was literally going to say she got Paul Heyman because that is what Paul Heyman did best in ECW with a lot of people.
Hey, man, good stuff here. I guess this shows exactly how fast Braun Breaker really is because it didn't seem like he took nearly as long as anybody else to run down that ramp.
Dude, it's crazy how fast he is.
He's like, wham.
4.
No, you spoke over me that time.
No, I heard you.
Yeah, but that's just because you have headphones.
If I hear you. The radio can hear you.
All right. Well, you don't want me to say F the radio, okay? I know when it happens, so you don't have to. Okay. Next time you bring it up, I'm gonna swear.
You're gonna swear again.
Yeah. All right. I've had enough. I've had enough of this. I already have a girl in my life. I don't need you to just bring up all my mistakes as they're happening. Like I'm frustrated at a mistake I make. I'm, God damn it, I'm such an idiot. And then she walks in and she's like, "You're such an idiot." I'm like, "I know. Thanks." I need you to tell me too, Boris.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Just let it out, but don't say it out loud.
All right.
We can't.
All right. So anyway, this is the chapter is the decent match! Exclamation point. Ta-da! What more could you expect from Jade Cargill? And she did it. Girl, you did it. You had a goddamn decent match.
There we go. 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Then this led us into John Cena announcing the attendance, Miz interrupting, saying he wants his moment. Danhausen comes out with the midgets and his Danhausen mobile, I guess. And little thing there with Kit Wilson, the Miz, and Danhausen. I like this. Yeah, man.
The dog pile. That's got to be like a programmable move. And I do like John Cena not knowing who Kit Wilson was. Just like a little added touch there.
Yep. And I love how the whole disappearing thing, because it's hard to do that, especially in the WrestleMania stage on live show, blah, 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 blah. I just love how they lean into the absurdity of it.
And he's probably like, I just do it anyways. No, but no, there won't be any, we shouldn't do it because there's not going to be, he's like, no, it'll be even funnier. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And this led us into the main event, which started at 8. So John Cena announced the main event.
I'm getting hungry. It's like the 5th or 6th time. Let's tomato. So this tomatoed us to the main event. We're switching it up.
8:28 p.m. is when John Cena said it's time for the main event. 8:50 something. Almost 9 p.m. is when the main event actually started. All the ads, all the intros. Very cool intro for Roman with all of the pictures of the bloodline on the screens. I'm glad that they acknowledged Umaga in that.
Yeah. Oh, and a very cool entrance for him. And then Punk. It's almost like Punk rehashed what he did in AEW because this time it was for real. Like he did it then because he thought this was never going to happen. And he's like, oh, shit, now it's happening. All right, well, I'll just do it again. But Punk's entrance was kind of almost a little bit cooler. But I do like that even his theme seemed new. They had like the intro where they did it orchestrally and live. Then they kicked in his theme. But then just after the like intro, it was like different. It was like a remastered, remixed, reorganized version. Very cool.
And a lot of fans got their wish with the AFI music playing. Punk kind of doing his walkout to that, at least to the ramp. That was very cool. It was very cool to hear that theme.
So, yeah, like there was I really like this match. Punk looked good. I don't know. I wanted to say like in my head right now, I'm like, man, I'm trying to think of some moves. And I realized for some reason when I thought that, all I could remember was that Sami Zayn gave a heck of a brainbuster to Trick Williams on the apron at one point in that match. As soon as I thought, what were some of the moves that happened tonight? Like the first one that popped into my head, I was like, well, that happened. But I'm trying to think of some of the big moves that happened in this match. These guys had a great match. Punk didn't look blown up. I think I said it all earlier, but just in general, more of like everything you needed.
They went at a good pace. The pacing of this match might be too slow for some, but I thought for these two, it was perfect. My one nitpick of this match is because of all the back and forth they've been having, I thought that they were going to have a bit more of a brawl to start things off. You know what I mean? Jelly Bean?
Yeah. Okay, I want to be critical to some degree.
It's hard to be.
Yeah, but it was everything that I kind of wanted. All the things that I thought might happen that were going to be meh, like none of those things happened. And then in general, it was just a decent match by two guys. You know, they are just a little bit over the hill, so they're not like looking to really hurt themselves too much. But they did a great job, like altogether. Like I can't. It's so recent in my mind. I should be able to remember more of the match itself, but I just watched. It was the one match that I literally just watched the entire thing, all the entrances and everything. So I didn't make any notes. And now that it's over, I'm kind of just like, wow, it was good. I didn't think Roman was going to win personally. Wasn't it till
I told you he would.
Yeah, you did. I thought they were going to push it with Punk more because I saw more more value in Punk for the next little while. But as soon as he started, like there was too much laughing, too much happy with himself. A lot of hubris.
The cockiness.
Yeah, like even him getting off the table when he was going to give the elbow or whatever he was going to give, and he's like, "Oh, he's looking around to the crowd." And it was, "Oh, now Roman's coming after me." Yeah, it was a lot of cocky. And
I loved it. It's a smart way to even protect him in a loss because now you can continue saying, "Hey, this is why he lost because he got cocky in the match."
Like, yeah, there's like you watch certain like YouTubers or you read certain articles like Scott's Blog of Doom, things like that, and some of his writers, they have a certain way of speaking where they can talk about matches and rematches and they can make it sound like a story even when it's not, or very much so if you're reading the history of like Joshi or like the old AJPW stuff, because they really did that with matches the way they do with Strong Style, and like they make the young boys go forever, losses even against the same top talent before they finally make it. You know, when writing about this match and the history of the two together, like I feel like this is the one where you talk about the hubris a lot. And if they ever get back together again, Punk's going to like not allow that to happen and go for the jugular more and even feel more of it. Like, this is my last chance. The same kind of desperation I was talking about with Brock Lesnar earlier. So there is more to build on here if they're going to have that kind of a mentality. But in American wrestling, especially with the TKO style, they often did, dropping storylines and like fans, morons don't remember anything out there, Davey, in TV land.
Right.
It's just handy for the brain, boy.
Joe with a great comment here. They paced it great because they knew they were going 20 to 30 minutes and didn't want to blow each other up. Great rest spots and made sense. This match went 34 minutes, let's say.
Good. Longest match of the weekend. Only match, I guess, that was longer than Jerry Lawler versus Michael Cole.
That's insane. That is crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
There we go. But yeah, no, I really like this match. This is a really, really strong match. Roman Reigns is your champ. What's next for CM Punk, do you think?
Wow, what's next for CM Punk? Well, I guess Cody's got a heel.
Yeah.
Punk looked like beat up as well, but in a good way. What's next for CM Punk? I don't know. I have no idea. I guess we might like they could throw us a curveball. All somebody has to do is come out and make fun of him, and you've got your new feud. I guess we're long past Seth and Becky and AJ and all that stuff. Like maybe him and AJ will be licking their wounds together, something like that. And see, Becky has her title, but Seth lost as well. I'm trying to think who they could work with that would be like, yeah, like they would put the Nelson laugh in there. I don't know. Who do you think they're going to work with?
Well, so one of the comments here says, so Roman is defending the belt at SummerSlam against Seth. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I guess Seth has to come back around and win his title back, right? But what about Braun? What about Braun Breaker? He was supposed to be the next World Heavyweight Champion, right? Until he got a hernia.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a good little thing there. Roman and Braun Breaker.
Or Braun and Punk. I mean, I guess there's no more McAfee action here. So Punk and Ari Emanuel. But no, I could see Braun and Punk. Remember, they had that Punk beat him earlier in the year for that same title.
Exactly.
might be time to like put him in his place and then somehow get Braun over.
I have this feeling that we're going to be. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if Bronco goes against Seth, he really should beat him. And then how does that make Justin's comment make any sense if Seth's going to go through the summer and become number one contender? It means he's going to have to go through a feud against Braun and finally come out in the end after losing a few times, because they can't just have Braun lose. So going off in a different direction soon after this in some fashion might be nice. But Seth also needs to get his comeuppance, right? So
yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do.
WWE right now seems to really be leaning against the new generation.
Against them or for them?
No, with them. Like they're leaning onto them. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
We're being positive to them.
Yeah, we got Trick over. We got Oba over. I mean, Penta's not exactly young generation.
Javon looked great.
He looked great, but Penta is also like a masked independent wrestler from the Mexican scene, and like the way that they booked him for his first 8 months and the way they've been kind of booking Phoenix, and I feel like he's made it. You know, he's like this icy run, and even this victory here almost like has proven that they're putting something in him. His merch sales are good. He's learning the style. Remember his very first match in the ring against Gable, even though he had already worked American Indies and AEW for years, he worked like the left side for like the first minute and a half. And like Gable had to like work with him. Finally, like, hey, stop working Lucha with me, American. And he had to switch sides. He was like this nerves, right? It's amazing. Even a professional like Penta, like screwed up in his first match in WWE on Raw. So it's nice to see that he's made it to the top of the ladder.
Not to jump, well played. Not to jump back to what we were just talking about, but I just saw a comment or a news story here on the interwebs. Roman Reigns saying, and I quote, "Y'all better make some room because y'all gonna see my ass all summer." Good. You know, and like probably the same way, just the promos with Punk. Obviously, they're friends. Obviously, they talk. You know, it's very true. You know, all this like, hey, Roman, if you still got gas in the tank and your kids are all still pretty young and you're gonna like, you know what? Spend the next 3 months working the schedule, soaking up every last drop of this, you know, and now you can spend Christmas with the kids. Take it off, you know. Yep.
But you only got to we only got so much in the tank, right?
Absolutely. Let's see here. Denji says Gunther has to be in the world title picture sometime this year, especially if he's not retiring Brock.
Yeah. What about a Gunther Cody?
That would be good. That would be fun.
Like who?
But at this point, well, number one, we don't know how long Cody's out for. Hopefully, it's not too long. The rumored main event for Backlash is Orton and Cody, and you know Cody might lose there. But where does this there's a lot's in the air right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, Heyman owes him a favor. What about Oba Femi Gunther? You know, I feel like that's almost like next year's Mania might be the end run. You know, if they end off with Gunther has the title, like Oba winning the title next year at Mania. I can see that being like the final of this whole year. So who's going to win it off of, right? Gunther seems like it would be a good choice, really.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're going to jump to the Facebook group where we have chats each and every single week and feedback threads, facebook.com, and you can search for A+ Productions, and that's where we have the group with wrestling and so much more. All right, Blaine, you say the night started well and ended well with a couple of filler matches in between, but still much better than night one. Main event was good, but I thought it was kind of a lose-lose situation either way. Funny that Roman is calling Punk old, but as you get older, you realize that there isn't much of a difference between early 40s and late 40s. Yes, Punk should have passed the torch, I suppose, but we've already done this whole bloodline thing for 4 years, and this just feels like they're going backwards instead of moving forward. But we'll see where they go from here.
Well, you know, Punk's starting to run out of ideas. He's doing that stupid bounce off the ropes into the GTS for the second time nonsense when I'm on my knees and my opponent falls on me. Okay, it was cool the first time. It was okay the second time because you did it better. So he's like, okay, I'm doing it better this time. So this will be the highlight one. I don't need you doing it in the main event of WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. That's a tired ass move. It's like well too contrived for my liking to be in this match. So things like that annoy me. So yeah, I can shit on Punk if you want. He's too old and stupid. He should have dropped it, and he did. Yeah, you're right.
There we go.
Was that guy?
There we go.
That's on the Facebook chat. What's his name?
Where?
The guy who just made that comment.
I'm not looking at that right now. I'm on the Facebook group.
All right.
The next one is from Jay. I think we should all assume that night 1 of WrestleMania is going to suck from here on because this feels like a pattern now. Night 2 was a superior show. They did right by Obafemi. He ate anything Brock gave him and asked for seconds and pinned Brock clean. The new beast has arrived. One question though. Does the favor that Heyman owes Gunther play out to retiring Brock at SummerSlam, or will that be abandoned with WrestleMania really being the final match for Brock? I'm glad that Trick won the U.S. title, even though his entrance seemed like he forgot something while exiting the bathroom, and hopefully this will be the last we see of Little Boat Kid. The water bottles will not be safe again thanks to Sammy losing. Ripley versus Cargill was an okay match. I was expecting Cargill to be more Goldberg-like, but she actually did a better job of this time, so kudos to her for that. Punk and Reigns was a good match despite Reigns technically losing by TQ. Aside from that weird spot, everything played out like they had the animosity, but unfortunately, Punk ran out of gas at the end because the fuel prices are too high right now. Solid thumbs up.
Yeah, I can agree on most of those points. The rent is too high. I still think Punk looked better gas-wise, stamina-wise, every way-wise than he's looked for a lot. But yeah, he's still asking a lot of himself. Yeah, I think that I still think he's 100% straight. There's no steroids. He's probably does as much natural stuff as possible. You know, he's never had that look, and it's easier than ever to get it. So, although he's got hair plugs and probably veneers too, he's not too shy about doing that stuff and tattoos. But
not at all.
Nothing inside the body. Only the outside do I augment because I'm cheap and plastic. I'm calling Roman plastic, but I'm the one who's plastic. There's the storyline.
RJ Patterson says night 2 was great. Sarah Graham says definitely way better than night 1. The 6-man ladder match was amazing. Match of the weekend with Punk Reigns 2nd and Balor Dom 3rd. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, man. You know what? For me, I almost like Balor and Dom. I'm trying to think what would be the Housenist match. These were all great. Like last night, just really there was nothing there. It's really too bad. And like I did watch back. You know what? I went back and watched back, and I really enjoyed Liv and Steph. And I didn't think it was as short as everybody makes it out to be. A lot of these matches they also used their time. They attacked each other off the bat. It was immediate. There was no wasted time in that match. And the kept her character, through her like pointing when they had like, oh my God, Liv is so good with everything. And like announcing her at the beginning, all of her movements, every tick, every smile, every movement of the body, it's all great. But then Steph did her calm and collected thing. But as the ref took the title to raise it and they were coming ready to get into their positions, she like broke for a minute. And like, she like did like this little hop and like looked around quick and closed her eyes and like giggled like a schoolgirl. It was like this moment where she was like, I'm Stephanie Vicaire. I'm the world champion at WrestleMania, all that stuff. Whoa, Vicaire, everything in the lights, and Liv's in the background there. Then the ref took the belt to do it. And just as she walked away, it was like this moment of her being like,
the realization.
Oh my God. Okay, shake it off. Professional. Like it was literally about 3 or 4 seconds of this like unmitigated childlike joy throughout her. It shivered through her body and like shone through her for a second. It was awesome. And then the match was great. It really was great. They did an awesome job in this match. And the rest of the night, I tried to watch bits of it. Nothing was really like that solid. I think everybody really tried to do their best.
Yeah. With what little time they were given.
Yeah, it seemed like the way that Trick's entrance wasn't as big as you'd hoped it would be. Like the crowd didn't seem to sing along as much. Maybe it was the timing or the echo or something, but it seemed a little truncated and then got down. And maybe his looking back, it wasn't like Oba's like the whole time, where they almost got more and more into it. I feel like night 1 was all a Trick Williams entrance. It was just like it was there, and you wanted to like it, but you were like, and then they would hit you with so many commercials. It was just distasteful. So yeah, it was tough, but I enjoyed going back and watching that match, Liv and Steph.
Yeah.
It was almost like a palate cleanser when I watched it on its own. And it suddenly hit. I was just like, wow, this was great. It's bloody great. So,
yeah, it was a good match. It was a very good match, which leads me to 2 questions. First question is thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down for night 2 of WrestleMania?
I'm going to have to give it a thumbs up. because I've smiled a lot. We've had a great podcast. And when comparing it to like part 1, part 2, you know, there's just no qualifications. There's no comparison at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Thumbs up from me as well. Second question to you. What was your top 2 matches of the weekend?
Well, you know, since I just put over Steph and Liv, I'm going to stick with it, because if anybody's like, really, that's one of your top 2, I think I could argue it being one of the best matches and having one of the best buildups, and like Liv, like persevering through so many bad things, and Steph as well. And then the juxtaposition I was saying yesterday of like the storyline they put forward of their like lives compared to what they actually had to deal with. Like, I think there's a lot there. It's a good storyline. So that one, and I guess Oba Brock, but also the main tonight was really great. I enjoyed the main tonight. And honestly, I haven't enjoyed a ladder match the way I've enjoyed this ladder match. I haven't enjoyed a ladder match in ages as much as I enjoyed this one, for all the reasons that Supermarks or people like Joe Thorrington might say, like, oh, it was boring. It wasn't as many spots as I'd like. It had a Fatu and McIntyre unsanctioned match by like, what? No blood? No, it's kind of like, eh. But I think it was just enough of everything. It was perfect. It was great. It was great. It was a cupcake that didn't have too much icing on it. I was just like, that was a good cupcake.
Yeah, match of the weekend for me would be tonight's main event, Punk and Reigns. And in second place, I'm still sticking with Seth and Gunther. I really, really liked that match from last night.
Yeah, man, it really was a good match. In fact, that's the one I haven't watched back. And I got to admit that night one hardly kept my interest. And I was kind of in and out of it. I watched this entire night tonight, had my attention. So you know,
what's interesting is I talked to some people who watched WrestleMania way after the fact, and they were able to fast forward through all the commercials and stuff, and they enjoyed the show a lot more than we did. I think watching it live, you were just annoyed by the sheer amount of ads and breaks and shortness of the matches. So if you truncated the show into just the wrestling, apparently last night was good.
Yeah, and I mean, it wouldn't be like awful, but it just wouldn't be amazing. But yeah, that's how I watch Raws and SmackDowns, and oftentimes they're much better that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. That is WrestleMania 42 wrapped up in a neat little package. We've been chatting all things WrestleMania here on KPHR Hamilton and on YouTube at Hutch Henry's. Hutch, where can we find all of your beautiful work?
Oh, you can find me at Hutch Henry's. You can find me this week at Demand Lucha Talks with my brand new video coming out there. The very first ever masked luchador in Mexico. And he was a white dude from Missouri. So we should check that one out. And then, of course, you can check me out at Demand Lucha this week, this Thursday at the Parkdale Hall, Demand Lucha in the house. And then this weekend at the Well, our Mall of America. Come and see us down at the Well, I think on Front Street downtown. We're going to have a fun show there. A lot of international guys we're bringing in. So that should be pretty good. And the best part about WrestleMania 42 being over and it being Sunday night and all of this wrestling like culminating is I get to sign off from this podcast and go watch AAA.
There we go. There we go. That's a perfect way to cap off the weekend. I'm looking at the time and I'm shocked at how early it is. Beautiful. Good stuff. Good stuff. There we go. 8plusproductions.com is where you can find all of the information for the show. Be sure to sign up and subscribe to the podcast by going to your favorite podcasting app and then searching for A Plus Wrestling or A Plus Productions. And as I mentioned earlier, we want you to be part of the conversation. Facebook.com, A Plus Productions is where you can go and do that. On behalf of the entire A Plus crew, thank you so much for listening. Thanks to everyone who has joined us over the entire weekend on the chat. It's always been fun. We will be back Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, at Hutch Henry's on the tubes of you, and on Thursday on KPHR, talking all things WrestleMania. Thank you so much, but most importantly, stay tranquilo.